She's got together with Rotary, you can't be doing that. Well, I mean, I was, but this is volunteer. I am. Oh, here we are. What do we got?
Morning, folks.
Morning, everybody.
Morning. I put my flag in the background there. Flag. If everybody can see it. I'll have to get out of the way.
Just in case, I printed the flag out.
Last night.
That's pleasant to wake up to. Hey, Kim.
Looking to refinance your mortgage?
Does Biscuitville have all kinds of muffins all the time?
I'm sorry, what?
Does Biscuitville have muffins all the time?
I think so.
I need to get a couple of teachers. I know they like Biscuitville.
Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Morning.
Guys, if you're logged in on your iPhones or whatever, please let me know who you are, because I just see iPad and iPhone and
Oh, okay. Danny Farley, iPad 3, if that's what it is.
okay.
Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well.
Morning.
Steve, it's Walt on the iPad.
Time to get some coffee. Good morning, Abigail.
Morning, Danny. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. We do a lot of procedural stuff before you go on, and then I'll get you to tell your story and introduce you.
Okay, you just lead the way.
Okay, I'm going to mute mine while I get some coffee. I'm back.
Hi.
Cheers, everybody. How do you like the kangaroo?
You're looking good, iPad 3.
Yeah, thanks. That's a Charlie Teff coffee mug. If anybody knows him, he runs the program, the ceramics program at Guilford College.
Hey, well, what percentage of these did you ever start exactly at 7 o'clock?
100%. Every single one of them. Don't you remember? I can't believe you've forgotten already, guy. No, our average live was like 7:08, 7:10, I think.
Yeah, it's funny. That's what I'm finding is it's about 7:05.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 5 minutes to press the Zoom button.
Well, I think some people, lose the link or forget they've got to charge their computer or, a million different things.
And the in-person is different than on the Zoom because we always started, it was 10 after, quarter after, usually when we had the meetings in person.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hi, Steve. Love you. I think somebody needs to make a motion that since Guy hasn't had live meetings this year, really, he should be president for another year.
So moved.
I reserve the right to veto that motion.
I don't know if our club can make another lame duck session.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
Yeah. Immediately after, I will make a motion to impeach me. Remove me from office. Matthew will second it for me. Actually, in all honesty, it's been an honor to do it. I mean, it's been a rough year, but it's not a horrible job. It's just a job. So. And all of you people are worth it, the effort.
Mm.
Even you, Matthew.
Where's Matthew? I don't even see Matthew. Oh, there he is. Hey, he's a little teeny on my screen.
I had the unfortunate gift of Christmas that somebody gave me a 2,000-piece princess puzzle. And
yes,
it's consumed me for many days now, but I'll tell you, my drinking's gone down. So. But I'm here.
I'm here too. I just, this is Dale. For some reason, my video is not showing up.
Are you not going?
maybe you need to put some pants on.
Nah, I'm good all that way.
I'm going mobile in a little bit, heading down east, so you may lose me for a second, but I'll be right back. I'm getting in the car. We have Wi-Fi in our car.
It's like a good turnout this morning.
Yeah, it looks like our group is mostly here, so we'll go ahead and get started with our meeting. Bobby Christensen has our invocation. Bobby, you want to start us off?
Sure. All right, let's bow our heads. Lord God and Creator, we give thanks for this day, for our Rotary Club, its members, their combined resources and talents to make the world a better place. We thank you for while being diverse individually, we can take these differences and mobilize them for the good of Rotary and our community. We pray for our nation as it heals from the virus and political unrest. We pray to understand, much like physical exercise, the healing power and strength that ultimately comes from pain and struggle. Help us recognize and trust you, that you as our Creator has a plan for us, which we ultimately will understand. Help us remember that good things take time, and the moment is nothing but a second in the realm of eternity. We ask that you help us remember always the four-way test in everything we do. Help us to serve humbly and willingly as we focus on the needs of our community. Thank you for our gifts and help us to use them wisely. Amen.
Amen.
Stand for the pledge. Guy, you've got the flag in the back there. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the
to the
flag
flag, United
of the United
States,
States of America
to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which it stands,
stands
one nation,
one nation
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
liberty
with liberty and justice for all.
and the four-way test.
The things we think, say, and do.
Things we think, say, do. Is it the truth?
Is it the truth? Is it
fair
fair to all concerned?
Will it
Will
build
it build
goodwill,
Goodwill and better
friendship?
friendships.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Boy, those are some great words in these times, aren't they?
Yeah, thank you, Bobby. Well done on the invocation as always. And yes, if only we could apply the four-way test to more things, wouldn't the world be a little more civil place? Anyway, the board did meet last Tuesday, so on the club announcements, one of the items that we voted on as an announcement is the Satellite Club has decided they want to change their name and unanimously voted to change the name to the Sunset Club. The board, not seeing it necessary to debate what they changed their name to, unanimously voted to allow them to change it to the Sunset Club. So our Satellite Club has now become the Gate City Rotary Sunset Club, and they meet on Monday evenings every 2 weeks, same as before. We did discuss Charlotte sending out weekly or bi-weekly reminders of when their meetings are and where they are. So if the regular general membership want to attend that club, we're all the same club. It's just the subsection of the same club. We also discussed our next club assembly, which is February 25th. I know you all want to mark that on your calendars because everybody gets so excited for those. So February 25th is our next club assembly. I did see Charlotte is on the Zoom meeting. So Charlotte, do you want to make an announcement about the Sunset Club's next service project?
Sure. I'm not on video. I apologize. Our next project will be on March 20th, which will be a Saturday afternoon. And we've scheduled 1 to 4 p.m. to serve, well, not serve, but pack food and then load cars in the afternoon. Again, it's 1 to 4 p.m. on March 20th. And some folks might come even earlier than that. But Christy said essentially she would never turn down volunteers. So if anyone from the bigger club, if you guys would like to join, I'll send out that as well in a reminder about our next meeting dates in an email to the whole club.
Thank you, Charlotte.
We'd love for everybody to join.
On the service vein, Matthew, you want to discuss the next service project for the general club?
Sure. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We have signed up and partnered with the city of Greensboro and with I'm assuming still with the North Carolina Wildlife Habitat Federation, or North Carolina Wildlife Habitat. I don't remember the last acronym for that one, but nonetheless, we're going to be doing a stream clean first weekend in February, and I'll send out a sign up genius probably today and get the ball rolling there. Went by the site last week. It is still covered in trash, and there is tons of ducks and geese all around it. It's very easy to get around it. It's like a bunch of little finger creeks everywhere. It's not like a swamp, and it's not a pond. It's just wetlands. It's very unusual, and I'll be happy to bring some boards and so if we have to cross a creek or something like that. But otherwise, look for the Silent Genius. Thanks.
Thank you, Matthew. So that, we have 2 community service projects, and this is, how Rotary really serves our community by making the world a little better place by one small act at a time. So in March, you can help feed starving people, and in February, we can help clean up some wetlands and help wildlife in our community. So 2 very worthy projects coming up. Next, I'm going to call on Gigi. She has some announcements about our district conference. Gigi.
Yes, thank you, Guy. I just want to remind everyone that our next district conference will be on April 16 to 18 in Asheville at the Grove Park Inn. Details should be coming shortly, so I will make sure that everyone has all the information. But if you could, in the meantime, put a save the date on your calendar. Again, April 16 to 18 at the Grove Park Inn in Asheville. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gigi. And our district governor, Tommy, has, I'll get to you, Chip. Tommy has said that he plans to have it. So at this point, we do plan to have the district conference. I don't know if they'll try and wrap up last year's into this year's and have kind of a double. Who knows? Chip, you had an announcement?
Yes, I wanted to announce, Guy, that we've had several people from the club volunteer and donate to Enduring Gratitude, a service project or actually a service event honoring veterans at Beaver Pond Sporting Club and Snow Camp on February the 13th. We plan to have about 150 or 160 vets there, and we need somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 volunteers to handle that. And so we're looking for volunteers. The website is enduringgratitude.org, and I'll send out another email about it today. But I want to thank everybody who's already signed up or donated or volunteered. Budget's about $60,000, and there's 6 guys raising that. And I appreciate all the help tremendously and the donation from the club. Any questions, please email me. You've got my email or text me, and I would be glad to fill you in. A lot of open jobs. It'll be a cold day. All the outside stuff you'll need to wear cold gear, believe me, unless it's a freak of nature. But there are a lot of inside jobs too, and jobs for people who don't feel that they can go around a sporting clays course or be out near pheasants when they get shot. So anyway, please come join us. There are lots of different things to do, lots of different ways to serve. And thank you again for those who have signed up and donated.
Yeah, be sure to put in a happy dollar for that.
Will do.
But Buster, I've given him a pass for announcing that event.
What?
I've volunteered at it, and as a veteran, it's a very worthy cause. The people that attend this event, they need the camaraderie to help them finish healing. The PTSD is a real thing, and these guys really benefit from it. So the couple times I've been out there with them, it is extremely beneficial. So anyway, and I'm sure Chip will contribute to the Happy Dollar Fund. Anyway.
Yeah, never fear, Buster.
I know you will, Chip.
So what another item that was discussed at our board meeting was Mike Conrad did give us a tentative final Polio Plus fundraising amount. So Mike, you want to talk about that with the club any? You're muted, Mike.
I know.
There you go.
Okay. No, we have come a long way toward, with not meeting, it's been tough, a little bit tougher raising money for polio this year. But it looks like, when we get everything basically to the Rotary Foundation, that we're going to be over $4,500. So love to get that up to 5,000. So if anybody hasn't made a contribution, if you'll let me know, we can bill you. I'd be glad to do that. And then that'll help too, because Guy's has to pony up a little bit more too. So I think we can make it. So thanks a bunch for everybody that's already made their contribution.
Mike, what did we do last year?
We did, golly, it was about $5,500 last year.
So we need to beat that.
We had a really big year last year.
Yeah, and I'm happy to contribute. For every $10 the club gives, I've pledged to match $1. So not the other way around. So remember, not the other way around.
You're at least 100. You're 150 in the hole. So we'll work on that.
So I am happy to give as much as you guys want me to give. So you do your part and I'll do mine. We're not quite ready to make any announcements on the fundraiser yet, but we did discuss it at our board meeting. As of now, the club plans to move forward with our fundraiser, assuming things don't change. I did look up today that 29 million vaccinations have been given. So, some of those are redundant, but at the pace we're moving, by May, we should be able to hold the fundraiser. I'm fairly confident of that. So in the next few weeks, Tom Richardson's going to be reaching out to everybody to see if they can help them form a committee and finish moving forward. The committee's job shouldn't be as hard because a lot of the creativity's been done by Lisa. So we're not going to need to reinvent the wheel here. It's more just getting the work done. So please respond to Tom and let him know that you will help him out with it. All right. So any other general announcements from the floor? Okay, well, Buster, you have the floor now, and if you want to do our
happy
happy
dollars,
dollars,
baby. Woo! I know we got a lot of them. I can tell. Jim's at the racetrack. Bobby's in the mountains.
I'm up.
All right, go ahead.
I hope this road noise isn't too bad. Mary Kate, we're on our way to go have a little date afternoon. We're celebrating 27 years.
Oh, wow.
And we want to get it in before our actual anniversary. So we thought we'd just do a little day escape and go to parts unknown. That's mine.
Fun. Congratulations, 27 years. All right, surely somebody. That you, Chip? Go ahead, Chip.
I got one, Buster. I got one. And
go ahead.
February 13th, dollar bill. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Thank you, Chip. We got to squeeze it out of everybody we can here.
Okay, I can do one.
We got Gail. Gail's on.
I can do one. I'll do two happy dollars. One for Rosa. She skied for the first time and did not break anything, so I'm very grateful for that. And Victoria has taken up lacrosse and new sport for the Stancil house, and so far she hasn't broken anything either. So that's where we're at.
Chicks with sticks.
That's right.
Oh my, that's great. Those Stancil girls. I can remember the first time Hal told us the story of Rosa when she was, or was it Victoria in the swimming meet, and she got a late start and basically she got into, her start was later than everybody else's and she beat everybody. We knew the Stancil girls were going to be impressive.
That was Rosa. I could probably give another dollar for Sadie. Our new poodle, she's at camp learning how to act like a Stancil girl.
Oh.
Stay tuned for that.
Moving up to the Stancil standard.
She might be the rebellious one in the family. Yeah, that's three.
Anybody else?
Man, nobody's happy.
Well, Danny, Grandpappy, on your anniversary, I just wanted to give you a little advice that Grandpappy gave me. He said, I asked him, what is the secret to having such a strong marriage? And he said, you just have to treat her like you did when you were courting. Go out to a nice dinner, go to a movie, and drop her off at her parents. So anyway, goodbye.
Thank you, Buster. I did want to say Rick Martin is traveling to Oklahoma, so we will pick up with birthdays and anniversaries next week. We'll get a double next time. So with that, we'll go ahead and introduce our speaker. Danny, is it you or Lisa?
Yeah, it is me. I hope I'm coming through all right. Mary Kate,
I really hate to interrupt, but we have a birthday today. It's actually Kim Dane's birthday, actual today.
Ah.
We forgot to say that. I apologize. Here comes Kim right now.
I'm sorry, Danny. We'll get to you in just a second. So it is.
Maybe Abigail can sing happy birthday.
That's right. Or help us.
It is a club tradition when people attend the meeting on their birthday that we as a group sing happy birthday to them.
And
so I'm going to go. We'll see what this sounds like.
I love it.
But I'm going to unmute everybody, or ask everybody to unmute. Okay. And let's see if we can pull it off.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kim. Happy birthday to you.
All right. Sounded like strangling cats.
Again.
All right. Now, Danny, you have the floor.
Thank you. Part of the introduction should actually be counted with a happy dollar for Jeff Stillman with his Star Mount magazine. The reason I know Abigail is because Jeff did a little expose on the before newlyweds, Abigail and Jason, and the story of their singer-songwriter start. And I won't break into that, but I do want to tell you, it's been a pleasure to be able to be in the community, walking my dog and just running into them. And I think I reached out to Abigail to ask her about bookbinding. That was our first contact. That was a part of her history. Besides that, and being I think a city council member somewhere. But I think the real first interaction was after I downloaded her first album. Her albums are on iTunes. I think it was Not What I Seen, if I'm correct on the first one.
Don't wake me.
I may have that backwards. So I think we have plenty of time to go through whatever you want to talk about. Our little bio that was written up by Abigail, Lisa sent out. So if you want a little clip, you can read that in your email. So I just wanted to welcome you, and I'm sorry Jason can't attend this morning because he's a real treat too. So go ahead and take it away, Abigail. I'm muting out.
All right. Are you able to hear me? It's coming through. All right, cool. Thank you, Danny. Yes, I knew I made it when I was walking my dog and I heard my album playing in somebody's car as they drove by, and it turned out to be Danny Farley. That is how we met. And I moved to Greensboro about 7 years ago when I met my husband. My father-in-law is Bob Duff, who's been involved with Rotary for a long time. I don't know if any of you know Bob. But I met Jason on a plane, and I chased him down in the Greensboro airport, and I lived in Maine at the time. And 2 months later, I lived in Greensboro. And I left behind a political career. I was the town council youngest town council person and highest ever voted elected official in my hometown, Southern Pines. I was the only woman. I'm feeling a little bit like that, so a shout out to all the ladies. I'm gonna play a song, and so this is new for me. I haven't done a Zoom concert yet before, so I am happy to answer any questions. And I've gotten really used to reading questions in chat boxes while performing simultaneously. So if something pops up, you're welcome to throw it at me. I'm a singer-songwriter, musician here in Greensboro. Last year, I was on tour all year from Pensacola one week to New York City the next week and Colorado a month after that. And so it's been really nice to be home, sleeping in, but not today. But you all have mentioned words that come from one of my songs, One Moment at a Time, so much this morning that I'm going to start with this one. I wake up every morning and I take it one step at a time. And I face my days one breath at a time. We are all one together in this life. It goes on and on, one moment at a time. Do we ever really know where we come from or where we're meant to be? Exactly where we're going? Are we ever really free? If I am you and you are me, we are all one together in this life. It goes on and on, one moment at a time. Sometimes all I've got, sometimes all I know, sometimes all that I can see is what is right in front of me. I wake up every morning and I take it one step at a time. And I face my days one breath at a time. One step at a time. One breath at a time. One moment at a time. Thank you. So Buster's advice to married folks made me laugh because that's exactly what my husband did. When some of you I can see are realtors, and because I recognize your names, and if you know the lot in Starmount Forest where West Avondale, which is where Whole Foods is, the third house on the right, if you cross over Friendly, is no longer there. The city bought it and tore it down. That was my house. And it flooded 7 times in our first year of marriage between Hurricane Florence in 2018 and Halloween of 2019. And it got to the point that it was so bad that I couldn't live in the house. And so at one point we packed up everything and my husband, Jason, and I moved in with his parents, which is exactly where you want to be your first year of marriage, living in your husband's childhood bedroom with all of his Kiss posters on the wall with your in-laws. And then my husband realized he just couldn't live with his parents. So he moved out and I stayed with them for 3 months, which is when I wrote that song. And I had to take it one day at a time and one moment at a time. And then 2020 happened and I thought I went through boot camp. I was ready. So I really appreciated Buster's joking advice. I wanted him to know that there is a man out there who actually took that advice and his marriage survived. And I also wrote this song, Beautiful Day. I lived with neighbors for about a year, well, 7 months, while the city of Greensboro was deciding what they were going to do about our house that was uninhabitable, and I didn't have a place to live. And so I was living with friends and neighbors and wrote this song on one of our neighbors' front porches. Outside of my window, it's a beautiful day. I ought to go out for a while. Call up a friend or lean on a stranger. I could sure use a smile on this beautiful day. Beautiful day outside. Mama called this morning, but I didn't answer. I didn't have the heart to say that I've been feeling kind of lonely. Sometimes I get blue, and mamas try to make it all okay, 'cause they want every day to be a beautiful day. Beautiful day outside. Do you ever get lonely? Wonder how much farther you can go? And do you think that you're the only one who knows? Friend, I know. 'Cause I have seen the darkness and I've got shadows inside, but I hold on for the light. And I have never known a sorrow that didn't make me stronger. There's never been a day that the sun don't rise and bring a beautiful day. Beautiful day outside. Hold on, my friend. No one sees clearly in the dark. Even the longest nights are just the start of a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Oh, beautiful day outside. So that's a beautiful day, and I have a new album coming out in April, and that's going to be the title track. And I am ready to, that is what I've been working all year on. It's been nice to have a project when I'm sitting at home. Let's see, I see a question. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh, I have heard that before, Buffy St. Marie. Thank you, that is quite a compliment. Some of my influences, I love Janice Ian, the 60s and 70s, and I'm sitting here with my Jim Croce songbook right next to me. I've been trying to get my guitar students to learn Jim Croce instead of K-pop. I don't know. I'm learning to teach them K-pop on the guitar, but trying to teach them, don't mess around with Jim. Joni Mitchell, of course. I don't think there's anybody that wasn't influenced by Joni Mitchell, but yeah, Janice Ian, she's the one that I love the most. In fact, I don't know how many of you know Janice Ian. She had the song 17. I learned the truth at 17. It came out in the 70s. And that is my favorite album. And I gave her a shout out in the News and Record. That was a question in the article. And Janice Ian wrote me an email on Christmas Day this year, thanking me for the shout out. And so we've been corresponding, and it has been almost as cool as meeting Dave Grohl. Because everybody loves Dave Grohl too, right? So I grew up in Southern Pines, and right next to Pinehurst. When you grow up there, there's a real rivalry between Pinehurst and Southern Pines. Oh, I'm getting some favorites in here. Goodbye Hometown is on the list. So I was on the town council in Southern Pines, and I owned an art school, and I ran a nonprofit. And I was 27 years old, and I realized that I was not where I needed to be. And so I packed up my duffel bag and my guitar, and I got on a plane and moved to Florence, Italy, to figure out who I was without everybody writing about me in the newspaper. And when I went out and bought this guitar, this is the first song that I wrote. I would never admit that I was homesick until I wrote this song. I packed my bags the other day and swore I'd never find my way this way again. I drove 1,000 miles north up through the mountains and left my world behind. And I never knew what it meant to be a Southern belle till I crossed that Dixie line and said farewell. Goodbye, peaches. Goodbye, sweet magnolia blossoms in the summertime. Goodbye to the whippoorwill, singing sweetly in the night among the longleaf pines. And goodbye, stranger, the one who'll pass you on the street. And every time he'll greet you with a smile. And goodbye, hometown, and everyone I've ever known. So I moved to Maine after Italy. I just got in my Honda Civic one day and drove to Maine without a place to live or a job or just me and my duffel bag. And I settled in New England where the winter sky is gray and full of snow. And I traded in my bare feet for snowshoes and long walks in the cold. These winter nights get lonely sometimes way up here, and I think of all the ones that I've held dear. Goodbye, peaches. Goodbye, sweet magnolia blossoms in the summertime. Goodbye to the whippoorwill, singing sweetly in the night among the longleaf pines. Goodbye, stranger, one who'll pass you on the street, and every time he'll greet you with a smile. Goodbye, hometown, and everyone I've ever loved. So I had to play guitar. It was kind of like a requirement when I was born and being into the family, because my great-grandfather owned a music store. It was a barber shop like the old Norman Rockwell painting, where there's a barber shop on one side and a music shop on another. I swear Norman Rockwell must have gone to my grandfather's shop because he was a barber until the Beatles came along and nobody was getting a haircut. So, smart businessman. He would have survived 2020, no doubt. One side was a barber shop for all the conservatives who were cutting their hair, and the other side was a music shop where everybody who wanted to be Paul McCartney could buy a bass guitar. There's something about these old country towns up north that They remind me of my grandpa's music store. And I've got his old guitar with me to play once in a while. It makes the miles not seem so far. Perhaps the best way to be grateful for the people in your life is to know what it's like when they're not near. Goodbye, peaches. Goodbye, sweet magnolia blossoms in the summertime. Goodbye to the whippoorwill, singing sweetly in the night on the longleaf pines. Goodbye to that stranger, the one who'll pass you on the street, and every time he'll greet you with a smile. Goodbye, hometown, and everyone I've ever loved. That's Goodbye, Hometown. Okay, so Danny or Guy, you can let me know. One more song, or how are we doing on time? I have no idea. One more song sound good? All right.
How about 5?
You have plenty of time, Abigail, and you're doing a great job. As many songs as you want to play.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Guy. Okay, well, since I'm telling you about Southern Pines with my Goodbye Hometown song, I don't know how many of you have been down to Southern Pines, but there's it is the home of the world's oldest longleaf pine. And I never appreciated the pines when I had to pick up pine cones and rake pine straw as a kid, but now I really miss all of they're the biggest pine cones I've ever seen. And there's something special about the longleaf pines. And they used to stretch all the way from North Carolina down into the panhandle of Florida and even closer towards Texas. There were 95 million acres of longleaf pines. And that was one of the reasons that we were so attractive to the British, because they cut them all down to make ships and have tar and turpentine. And I was reading a book one day about the wiregrass region of Alabama. And the folks there were called wiregrassers because they were turpentine workers. And the wiregrass was so sharp, and it was kind of like hillbilly. It was like calling somebody a hillbilly. It was meant to be derogatory, and then they just kind of owned it. And I thought, I got to write a song for the wiregrasser, because when they cut all of the pine trees down, they lost their home. They lost the Black Belt Prairies and the wiregrass region. And I really love what you guys do with the Rotary Club, just giving back to the community and taking care of the environment. It's all connected. We're all connected. I belong to no one. Rocky shore beneath the pines is where I come from, and I can still hear my mama calling. Come sundown, boy, you make your way back home. From the wiregrass of Alabama down in Andalusia is where I get my name. I work this land just like my daddy. Hands like leather and I mean as those blades. I'm a wiregrasser chipping down the pines. There's no more black belt prairies, only pitch tar and turpentine. There is an article in the Our State magazine this month about catface. And in Southern Pines, when you walk through the woods, you can see old turpentine trees, and they have catface, which is the scratches that the turpentine workers would carve in the sides of the trees to bleed the trees. And they're really old trees because we don't do that anymore. They're like ghosts. But a lot of the turpentine workers were former slaves. And so like all the trees, they were covered in scars. I had a fan send me that article the other day. He said, I finally know where that line comes from in your song. Well, I grew up from the ashes, Sand in my shoes and pine sap running through my veins. I've got cat face carved in my sides. Whoa, and no amount of prayer will save my life. 'Cause I'm a wild grasser chipping down the paths. There's no more black belt prairies, only pitch tar and turpentine. Oh, we cut them down, we'd let them dry, and we worked them to the bone. Stomped out the devil's fire and prayed that God would save our souls. I still hear Mama calling, heaven is the only place left to call my home. God bless my soul, 'cause I'm a white grasser chipping down the paths. There's no more black belt prairies, only pitch tar, oh, and turpentine. Thank you. That is a really fun song. All of my songs aren't slow and depressing. That's why Danny says we need Jason, because my husband plays foot percussion at the same time that he plays the bass, and he always gets my tempo up a little bit. But he is sleeping, and we're going to be playing at the Carolina Theater on Saturday night. So if you don't have plans, there's they're going to live stream the show from the YouTube channel and Facebook. So it was kind of fun to have a sold out show in the middle of the pandemic. They sold 25 whole tickets. So they're going to live stream it. And thank you so much for all these comments. It means a lot. It's so fun to have an audience. I would love to connect with all of you. And this next song, I haven't played in a while. I haven't practiced it, but when you were talking about the veterans and PTSD, it reminded me of the song. It's going to be on my upcoming album, and it's called I Don't Want to Talk About It. And I grew up in Moore County. Southern Ponds is right next to Fort Bragg. And so, you know, when the rest of the world doesn't see our veterans and our military families, when you grow up in a place like that, not only do you see it, but you hear it. Every night before the Iraq and Afghanistan, whatever we want to call them, missions, wars, whatever, you would hear them just almost like a whole war was going on 15 miles away. And then 2 weeks later, you'd read about it happening overseas. And it was just, you know, you see these people, you go to school with their kids. And I wrote the song, it's called I Don't Want to Talk About It. And I think it applies to anybody who experiences trauma and has to come home at night. And, you know, everybody wants to fix you and tell you what to do and what not to do. I was trying to write this song for a friend to say, I don't judge you for all of these things. Everybody's always saying, stop drinking so much, stop doing this or that. And I wanted to write a song that said, I don't judge you. And it sounded really judgy. And as soon as I flipped the perspective around and wrote from the point of view of somebody in those shoes, it completely changed the song. So we'll see if I remember how it goes. I don't want to talk about it, wouldn't understand. I'm no hero, I am just a man. You don't know the things I've done. And if I told you, would you run? They say, put the bottle down. I know I'm hard to be around, but what's wrong with a drink or two to clear my mind without that look from you every time? I I just wanna be alone. Let the phone ring, tell them I'm not home. I don't wanna talk about it. You think I've missed my mark? Better you think God is afraid of the dark. Well, I've seen him there by my side. He's not the one run and hide. You look surprised that I pray. God's the only one worth talking to these days. I don't wanna be alone. I swore I wouldn't bring this home. But who are you to tell me what is right and wrong? I don't wanna talk about it. I don't wanna be alone. Don't wanna hear you say you're sorry. What's done is done. The things that I can't change, I can't take back. And I can't run from. Thank you. I am not going to send you out on such a downer song, but I thought if ever there was a group of people that would get it and help folks that feel that way, I think we all maybe feel that way a little bit sometimes. But I'm going to go out on a song called Run, and this is a song that is about the dying of languages. So we preserve endangered species and we talk about plants and animals, but we don't, it's not really on our radar that we lose languages at a much faster pace than we lose species and animals. And these are the indigenous languages, like the Cherokee language, that will be gone within 50 years if it isn't taught. And I thought, what would it be like if I was the last person that could speak my language? What would that feel like? I am the last woman of my tongue. There's no one left where I come from. I can navigate the seas, the stars and waters speak to me, and the gods are on the run, run, run. They're on the run, 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 run. There's a halo around the moon, I know the rain is coming soon. There's gonna be a flood. Mother Earth looks to the sky, I hear her whisper, friend, goodbye. Let the water run, let it run, 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 run. Let it run, 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 run. I call out to the ones who came before. Tell me, what can I do? They say, daughter, our stories cannot help you anymore. No one can hear you. We've lost the language of the land. There's no woman, child, or man who knows where they come from. And we are running out of time to save this planet, humankind. Oh, where will you run? Where will you run, 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 run. When there's nowhere to run, run, run. You better run, 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 run. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's just been magical to get to play music to people besides my husband and my cat and my dog.
So, Abigail, we do have a few more minutes. I wanted to open it up to the floor and see if anyone wants to ask you a question.
Yeah. That's me.
In the meantime, I'm going to find that Carolina Theater YouTube link so I can post that in the chat box for you. I know a couple folks wrote and asked for that.
Where is that giant tree down in Moore County?
It's at Weymouth Woods, and the best place to get to it is to visit a place called the Weymouth Center, which is in just outside of downtown Southern Ponds. The Weymouth Center is the home of the North Carolina Literary Hall of Fame. We were the first state to have a Literary Hall of Fame, and that's just another piece of trivia that a lot of us don't know exists down there. So go visit the Literary Hall of Fame, and then you walk back into the woods, and there are trails all through the woods. And it's back there. They don't actually mark it because they don't want it to be vandalized. So if you ask anybody down there, though, they'll tell you where it is.
Abigail, I had a question. The music industry has changed a bunch with things like Apple Music and other online sites versus people buying albums. So I just downloaded some of your songs from Apple Music to listen to later. Do you get reimbursement from that in some way, shape, or form?
I do. So it's funny, a lot of people don't like the streaming industry, but it is what it is. And if you think about somebody spends $10 on an album and that's a lifetime of listening to it a million times versus all of those plays on Spotify and Apple, over time, eventually it probably works out. So yeah, I do. I think every platform system gives you a little bit more. So Apple Music might give you like 0.03 cents for every time you play something. But if you download it and you spend 99 cents for the actual song, then I get, I don't know, like maybe a third of that. And then I work with a distribution company that just collects all of that stuff. And then once it hits a certain amount, they throw it in my bank account. And it's kind of fun when you wake up one Wednesday morning and somebody's throwing money that you didn't expect in there because you have, folks downloading music. So we do see some of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Judge?
I actually grew up right around the corner from West Avondale on Mistletoe Drive, so we're familiar with certainly your area, and of course Danny's in-laws live right around the corner from there too on East Avondale. You probably know that.
Well, we're now 2 doors down from them because we
on
couldn't
Madison.
beat the neighborhood. Yeah, we just moved up to the top of the hill. Don't ever buy a house at the bottom of the hill. We've learned.
You've come from Southern Pines, you've gone to New England and come back here. I'm just questioning, folks in the club know I've run for office myself and have been involved in civic affairs for, most of the last 20 plus years, but what engaged you to get involved in politics? And you do know there's a city council race coming up this year here in Greensboro. I'm not saying you need to run, maybe you should someday, but maybe even this year, but what engaged you before and what sort of things do you see that we could all do as citizens here and Rotarians that got you motivated to start a nonprofit and do some other things and doing what you're doing now?
You know, when I went to Chapel Hill and I majored in anthropology and city planning because I was fascinated by the way our communities and as individuals were shaped by the architecture around us and city planning and all of those things. And then I moved back to Southern Pines to start an art school. And there were actually 2 churches that had over the years bought up houses in downtown Southern Pines, and they leveled all of them for parking lots. And it was so shocking to me that, and it's totally legal to do, but it changed so that kind of triggered my awareness. And I started just talking to local officials, and the town manager at the time said, we need to put you on the planning board. Like, nobody calls me and asks me questions. And then the world's largest private development company at the time came rolling into town, and they wanted to build 1,400 houses on 558 acres and 400,000 square feet of office commercial retail. And I was 24 at the time, and I went to every meeting that the city had because I owned my own business. So I could, every work session, every agenda meeting, every meeting. And I started reading the plans, and I thought, this is gorgeous. This is the most beautiful development I have ever seen. What the hell are we thinking? It's a whole town. We already have a town. And I ran for town council by putting on, I brought in people from the Urban Land Institute and Preservation North Carolina and Preservation Economics. And I put on this whole series using my nonprofit of educational things because I realized we don't speak the same vocabulary. And I think as citizens, one of the things that we can do now is pay attention to the vocabulary that council members and civic leaders use, because one day you're going to need it. When our house flooded, I was on Fox 8 News talking about impervious surface, and the city of Greensboro bought our house. The city of Greensboro doesn't go around buying houses. And my husband is like, our whole life would have been ruined. We couldn't live in our house. We couldn't sell our house, except that I knew how to navigate. I knew how to go talk to people and not see them as the enemy. Yeah, it was. And I remember I would call David Flieger at the stormwater manager.
Right.
And
I work with Dave.
he was so nice, but I treated him like a human with respect and listened to him. And I think when you're an elected official, everybody's talking at you and nobody's listening. And the people on that side are often trying to help. And sometimes they can't help you, but they can explain to you how you can help yourselves. That's a tough lesson to realize that the onus is a lot of times on the citizen, and the elected officials in the government are there to assist you in being accountable for your life. And we don't see it that way a lot of times. I have no idea where that answer just came from. I think I need to run, don't you?
That was impressive. Yeah, put that on a website.
Well,
one day I do love politics.
Thank you, Abigail. We're running out of time. I'm going to leave the meeting open here. So if people want to speak to Abigail, obviously she's talented and passionate about our community. So I appreciated your performance, and I'm glad you performed for us this morning. Y'all, everybody remember Carolina Theater Saturday night, and our meeting is adjourned.
Abigail, this was terrific. I hope you're still there.
I am still here. Thank you, Danny, for inviting me. This was a lot of fun. And I'm going to have to get Mark Little's information from you guys so that I can shoot him a note.
Well, thank you, Abigail. That was fantastic. I love that type of music. That's what I grew up listening to. And I'm going to dust off my guitar you've given me. Hope I'll cut the news off tonight and try to play as good as you did.
I think that is the best way to spend an evening, Tom. And thank you for having me. This was just such a treat for me, too.
This was awesome, Abigail. Thank you. And thank you, Danny. Oh, I see Mary Kay. Have a great day, guys.
And happy birthday. I hope you have a good one, surrounded by as many people as you can.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye.
was awesome.
Most definitely.
Very nice.
Bye, everybody.